Good afternoon and welcome to week 1 of our prayer journey with our guide, this book, Creating a Life with God by Daniel Wolbert. I want to begin today with a quote by Daniel from another one of his works, and it is this: "Prayer is not another program to be undertaken by a strange few, but it is the program, the one activity that undergirds all activity." And I hope as we go through this journey that you will find that to be true of prayer for you, that it can become a regular part of your life that is foundational to your whole life. And so we begin. We begin in week 1 with the prayer practice of silence and solitude. Silence and solitude, along with next week's practice of praying scripture, become the foundational practices for all the other practices that we will encounter. So why silence? Well, first, if we're quiet, then we can listen. And that's the important part of this prayer practice, is to not to think about what words to use or what to say, but to listen in return for God's voice and God's presence in our lives. It places ourselves at God's disposal, and it turns our minds and opens ourselves up to our Creator. In silence, we can rid ourselves gently of the distractions not only around us, but within us. This gives us a chance to clear our minds and our hearts of schedules and to-do lists and worries and all the other things that our busy, hectic lives can bring. But here's the thing, this is not a magic trick. It is not an experience over which we have full control, which can sometimes leave us feeling uncomfortable. We cannot cause God to speak to us when we want. We simply need to be listening. But if we are faithful, eventually we will begin to notice that God is indeed present. And that's another quote from Daniel's book. So, how do we get started this first week in silence and solitude? Well, first you got to be intentional. And we need to take concrete steps to find that time in our day when we can take a few minutes by ourselves and in quiet. So think about those times in your daily rhythm when that might lend itself better to that. Maybe first thing in the morning, maybe last thing at night, perhaps a few extra minutes during your lunch hour. Use what makes sense already in your day. There's no right or wrong. Okay? Then get comfortable. Find a place to be comfortable. Maybe you can light a candle. And set a timer. Sometimes in the book, Daniel suggests 15 minutes. And that really might be too long. If this is something that's new for you, trying to be quiet and really be silent and alone in your day, you might need to start with shorter bits of time. Maybe only 2 or 3 minutes. So depending on your comfort level and how new this is to you or how uncomfortable it is to you to begin with, let that be your guide. If you want to start with just 2 minutes, that's fine. If you want to try for longer periods of time, if you've done this before, then go for 10 or 15 minutes. It's really up to you to get started with. Okay, but set a timer and then begin. Begin by asking God first to help you notice Jesus' presence in your life. And then just be silent and listen. And as unwanted distractions or thoughts start coming into your mind, just gently set them aside and then return again your attention to God. And listen. When your time is up, take a few minutes at that point too to reflect. What did you notice? What did you hear? And don't be discouraged if it didn't seem like anything happened. Remember, this is a practice. It's something we do over and over again to build a relationship, a deeper relationship with God. So don't be discouraged. Try this once or twice in the next week, and we will be giving it a try in worship as well. If you have any questions, or if you are just wondering more about all of this, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks, and have a blessed day.